Hello, welcome to GOT, Good Old Tech. The iPhone 15 is almost here. Are you ready to hear this?
It is the most advanced iPhone we've ever created.
In this video, I'll talk about the top 6 things that I feel will stand out to most of us with the new iPhone 15. Those are the display, the processors, cameras, batteries, storage, and the new hardware and features. And then we'll wrap it up with the pricing. So the display. Since the iPhone X, Apple has made it mostly a full screen, and it's taken us a long time to get used to all the gestures that we have instead of buttons. But still remaining is that notch at the top of the screen on your standard iPhones. Now that notch has gotten smaller over time, and I know a lot of us were hoping that one day it would disappear. But instead, in the iPhone 14 Pro, it evolved to a dynamic island. Now, a lot of us just felt that dynamic island was just a marketing scheme to try to push the notch further on us. However, it has proven over time to become a very useful feature. Some of the things it could do is tell you who is calling. The dynamic island can also show you what is playing in the background as far as music, and can give you access to some quick controls without opening up the music app. It can also give you map directions turn by turn without actually having to open up the map. It can keep you informed on background apps such as Lyft to let you know when your driver's nearby when you're in another app. It can show you simple things like when you plug in a charger that your phone is charging. The dynamic island also houses the facial ID cameras and sensors, and it's all hidden within that pill-shaped island. Now, apparently Apple feels that dynamic island has been so successful, we are now getting the dynamic island in the iPhone 15. So we are getting rid of the notch, and we have the dynamic island instead on all new iPhones. The display sizes will remain on the iPhone, the 6.1 inch on the iPhone and the iPhone Pro, and then 6.7 inch on the iPhone Max and the iPhone Pro Max, if the iPhone Pro Max remains. We'll talk about that shortly. Screen refresh rate on both phones is going to be the same. On your standard versions, you got the 60 Hertz, which is pretty old school now. Apple needs to catch up. On most phones now, they've all moved to the 120 refresh rate. So the iPhone Pros are at the 120 refresh rate still, and they have that Pro Motion that they call it, because on the new phone, it can go from 1 Hertz up to 120 Hertz refresh rate, depending on where you're at on your phone and what you're using to help save battery. The brightness on all the iPhones is going to increase. On the standard iPhone 14, the brightness was 800 nits to 1200 nits, depending whether you were in or outdoors. That's going to increase from 800 indoors to max outdoors of 16 nits. That's going to be the max brightness, which is automatic. That would be good because outside with this phone, you can't really see it much outdoors. On the iPhone Pros, the brightness will be from 1000 all the way up to 2000 nits outdoors. Let's talk processors. If we go back to the iPhone 13, all the iPhones across the board use the A15 Bionic chip. So there was no difference. No matter which phone you got their top processor. Well, that changed when we jumped to the iPhone 14. The standard ones got the Bionic A15 chip with a little bit of a tweak so that you would feel a little happier about it having a little bit more speed than the year before. But basically, it was the A15. And on the new Pros, they got the A16 chip. So this year, they're doing the same thing. So they did it last year to kind of create that additional space between the standard and the iPhone Pro. As far as the cameras go, the biggest jump is going to be in the standard iPhone, getting the 48 megapixel main shooter. Last year it was a 12 megapixel. This year it's a 48 megapixel. That's a huge jump. That's going to make it better for digital zoom and cropping photos, because the standard iPhone does not have an optical zoom. So you do have to digitally zoom, and with more pixels, the better the image. Now the standard iPhone will continue to have the 12 megapixel ultra wide camera. However, with the newer processor, the A16, they touted last year that it'll have brighter imagery on night photography. So let's hope that stands true. Moving to the iPhone Pro, again, they're going to have the 48 megapixel camera, but with the newer processor, again, It's supposed to even process even better, giving better low light shots than the previous year. Now, here's where the big change is. The iPhone Pros have the 3-time zoom, so they have a third camera, which the standard iPhone doesn't have. Now, there is another rumor on the iPhone Pros, and it's on the Max. It's rumored to get a 6-time optical zoom camera. Now, if they do that, it's going to separate the Max from the Pro. What's that mean? Well, if you want the best features available, you have to get the iPhone Pro Max, the larger phone. But what about those folks that don't want a larger phone? I don't know. Apple's going to have to answer to that. And because of this change, it is also rumored that there will no longer be an iPhone Pro Max, but instead it'll be called the iPhone 15 Ultra. Let's move on to batteries. All versions of the iPhone seem to be getting a jump of about 500 milliamp hours of battery, or close to it with all of them. That's great news. And with the newer processors on all the versions, they should be much more proficient in battery usage. So, that being said, all iPhone 15s should have better battery life than all of their predecessors. Something that is actually connected with battery life is charging. When you want to charge these phones, it's always been lightning cable, but now, for the first time, all the iPhones are going to have USB-C. That's the good news about the USB-C. The bad news is, on the standard iPhone, they're only getting USB 2.0, where the Pros are getting USB 3.2. So what's that mean? What's the difference? Well, the 3.2 is going to give you faster data transfer as well as faster charging, where the 2.0 is not going to be much of a change from the Lightning cable. All right, let's talk about storage now. On the iPhone 15, Apple is staying with the lowest possible denominator at 128 gigabytes of storage. I don't understand that, but that's just the Apple way. And if you want to upgrade it, on the iPhone 15, you can go to 256 all the way up to 512. That's the max you can get on the iPhone 15. Now, if you go with the Pros start standard 256 gigabytes, which is where most of the flagship phones are these days. At 256 start, you can go to 512 or a full terabyte on the Pros. So if you want the most storage, you've got to go with the Pro. And with the new iPhone 15, they're going to actually change some of the hardware. You know that switch on the side where you flip it and you get this little red spot? It means that your iPhone is silenced. Well, guess what? That button is going to turn into an action button. And that action button will be programmable to whatever you want. So we've yet to see what all it will control, but I'm sure if you want to, you could turn it into a silent button. Now, this last rumor we hope to not be true. However, everywhere I've searched, it looks like the iPhone 15 is going to go up about $100, and the Pros may go up to an extra $200. And if you want to keep up with technology and get the best of the best, you're going to be spending quite a bit more. So tell me, are you going to upgrade? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. I hope you got some good information out of this video. If you did, if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button below. And while you're there, go ahead and subscribe. Leave a comment if there's something I missed or something you want to add to this, or if you think I'm way off, let me know in the comments below. If you never researched a phone before they came out, you've got to try it. Thanks for sticking with me. Have a wonderful day. God bless.